All right. So this is gonna be a long one. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Oh my goodness, my mic almost fell. Okay, so as you can already know by the title, we have seen a lot of people discussing that Where Winds Meet is dead. We're losing players. We're always, going on a decline. We look at the Steam charts and things like that. So I just want to focus on today on how to fix Where Winds Meet or to retain the population or even increase our population in Where Winds Meet. So biggest problem with Where Winds Meet is not that the game has no content. The game has a lot of content. I mean, like I've spent 1,000 hours already in this game, so that's not the problem with the game. The problem is that most of the content is designed to just be completed one time. So you finish the story, you complete the exploration, you defeat the bosses, collect the rewards, and then you have very little reason to return to be a part of the world anymore. So that's why you see a very large decrease in the population size of the game. Obviously, Steam chart is not the only indicator of the population, but that is what we have to go with. Obviously, there are people who's playing on PlayStation, mobile, Xbox, things like that, not using the Steam client to launch the game. Like myself, I use the client, the Where Winds Meet client, to launch the game. I don't play on Steam anymore. It's gonna be like two different parts, because one of them is gonna be explaining the endgame loot that we desperately need in Where Winds Meet, and then the other one would be trying to keep the new players from leaving. We want to keep those new players to get to the end game content, because I noticed that a lot of new players, they aren't getting to the end game content because of the time gate that it is within the system. But if you want me to go over in detail about the new player reaching the end game content, I will discuss that in another video, because if I discuss that in this video, it'll be way too long. But today I just want to discuss, maybe this is like at the tip of the iceberg of where you want Where Winds Meet to be, because there's going to be a lot of different systems that you want to have in the game in order for it to be a popular game. But like the number one thing in my mind right now, this is in my opinion, and feel free if you have your own suggestions and leave them down in the comments below. But I think we need to change Where Winds Meet into a MMO, a solid MMO, like Guild Wars 2, Final Fantasy 14, World of Warcraft, all of these successful MMOs that are out there. I'm not suggesting that Where Winds Meet should abandon its single player experience or suddenly become World of Warcraft. The single player exploration, I think, should stay, and with their new expansions that keep releasing, I think they should continue doing things like that. The story is one of the greatest strengths for the game. What I'm gonna suggest is that the developer should try to build like a MMO style type of endgame content on top of what the game already exists. So the endgame content that I'm talking about is like a endgame loop where you just grind every day and progress slowly towards something, so that you're actually gonna get something at the end of the day. Alright, so the first thing that I want to talk about are the weapon skins that we can farm in the end game loop horizontal progression that I've been talking about. So basically right now, if you can see, most of the skins are around paywall, so you have to like pay for like an extravagant looking skin. But like it'll be nice if we can grind for some of the skins that are region specific. So obviously I'm not talking about already existing skin, I'm talking about they implement new skins. So like something that's similar to like these maple worlds and stuff like that, like something that you can just get from a rare drop. Obviously make it maybe more extravagant looking, so that people will have more incentive to go for it. But yeah, like for each weapon you will have a chance to get, and you will also have a map specific currency for that region, so that it works like a pity system, where you're like, even if you're defeating all these events, world bosses and things like that, you at least get some currencies from that map, so that you can spend on buying the outfit or the weapon skin that is related to that region. Not only that, is because this game always have new like weapons that come out, that means that those new weapons will have their own weapon skins that will be release, and then that way the veteran players who already obtained all the weapon skins from that particular region will have to go back to the region to obtain the newer skins for the newer weapons. So it kind of gives you like something like that as well. Not only that, maybe like, you know, you grind the, I think we need to get rid of the coins cap, or at least increase the coins cap a little bit more, so that we can also try to like implement a system where we can trade our coins for pearls instead of like so for Guild Wars 2 they have a gem system where you trade your gold coins for the gems, or you can just buy the gems with real money. So it's kind of like either you can buy it with real money or you can play the game and buy it through that. So I kind of like that kind of system better. So I want that kind of implemented in this game too. So allow us to buy pearls so that we can use those pearls to buy those pearl skins as well. And these events that we will complete on the open world allow us to, you know, get some more coins to buy those pearls. Obviously, the exchange rate is going to depend on how, you know, the economy is for the game. I'm not going to go into it on how much things should cost. But yeah, so the new reward system will give you that map currency that you could, you know, shop for outfits and skins, so, or weapon skins. So it's not just exclusive to just weapon skins. You can also, you know, get more outfits as well for that region. So it kind of incentivizes people to go and farm these outfits. Now we also have to implement like a trading or a marketplace that China already has, but we don't have it here. But we do desperately need a marketplace here so that we could trade the things that we don't want with other people, so that we do get the things that we want. Let's say, for example, a outfit that drops on a particular region that you already have, you could, you know, sell that on the marketplace and then, you know, exchange that to a different outfit that you might need on a different region. Or you could just sell it for coins and use those coins and trade it for jade pearls, and then the pearls to buy, you know, outfits from your marketplace that you have here. You could just use these to buy, use your coins, trade it for pearls, buy outfits that are pearl related here. Okay, so once you, let's say you collected everything from that particular map, you can also like implement something that gives you an achievement or like a reward as an accessory or an armor piece that, you know, ties in all together for collecting all of it. And then not only that, like even after you collect everything and you're collecting more currency and then now you have nothing to do to spend it on, you could create a system where there's a sink, like dyes. So in this game, you notice that you can have a lot of different dyes for your different armor sets. So maybe you can sink in some of the extra currencies that you have for that particular region for a maybe particular certain dye set. And yeah, you can go from there, so that you will have a nice sink even after completing the whole thing, so that you'll still continue and doing the bosses and the events as well. Now, as far as, you know, trading goes, like if you purchase the outfit through the currency that you get from doing the events, obviously that will be account bound. But then when it drops, when the outfit drops as a drop for the boss or the events, then you could sell those and you could trade those. Okay, now let's get into what kind of events that I want to see in the multiplayer open world, because like I discussed the drops and the rewards that we need and what we can expect to get in the rewards, but I did not discuss how we're gonna get it. So what I want to do is, if you look at world bosses in your trials over here, I want to try to say like all of these world bosses, allow them to reappear on the map again in the multi-world place. And we're gonna have like a event timer like Guild Wars 2 have, where one boss will spawn at a particular time, and then after that boss is killed, obviously maybe within the hour or a couple minutes or something like that, however it takes to kill a boss, then the next one will pop up, and then you'll go from there. So for example, if you guys are not familiar with how Guild Wars 2 is, I'm going to pull up this event timer that Guild Wars 2 have. As you can see, each region that Guild Wars 2 have, they have their own boss timer that will pop up. In the meantime, for Whirlwind's Meet, we don't have a lot of players right now, and we need more players in order for us to spread the population more, you know, evenly. But right now, because the population is so low, we need to have like only one event popping up at a particular time. So as you can see here in 1400, one boss will pop up and it will last 15 minutes, and then the next one will pop up, it will last another 15 minutes. So I wanted to kind of set it up something like that in Where Winds Meet, where if, like, let's say Snake Doctor pops up, and then, you know, you have 15 minutes to kill it, and then the Puppeteer will pop up when you have 15 minutes to kill that. So every player will be moving between maps to do the event, and we will have like a timer for that, an in-game timer, so that you can see like what world bosses are going to be up or not, and then you can join that particular raid. Not only that, like, low level players can also participate in it. You're gonna like upscale that low level player to, you know, level 80 or level 100 that we are now, and just upscale their gear at that in that moment, so they could still participate in these world boss trains as well. And then when they go back to solo mode, they're back to their original level, and then they can continue playing on their own. So as you rotate through Qinghe for all of these world bosses, then like Kaifeng will start to take place, and then you'll rotate within these world bosses as well, and then Heshi. So that this way it gives us an incentive to go back to the older maps, because a lot of people are complaining like once they're done with one map, it's like we never touch it again, like Heshi. But then with this open world MMO style kind of gameplay, we're gonna go back to these maps that we have neglected by doing the world bosses there. And for the world bosses, like, the mechanics can be, you know, kind of different and things like that, and just for the devs to kind of make it more engaging, instead of just scaling the health of a particular world boss, you kind of just do different mechanics like they do in our Heroes Realm or Sword Trials. So that way it'll keep things interesting, instead of just having a world boss being a HP sponge. So now, not just open world bosses, but I also want to have open world outposts as well. So like, we have a lot of outposts in different regions too, or we create more outposts in other regions, because certain regions has more outposts than the others. We do one outpost per region for the event timer thing. So yeah, one outpost per region, and for the outpost, you could scale it in terms of waves. So let's say you're doing one outpost over here, and you will have like, if you only have one player there, you know, you only get like five enemies that appear, and you kill them. And then if you have like 5 players there, you're gonna get like maybe 20 enemies, and they'll come from all sides. So you have to split up your team to kill them. And basically, what you want to do is prevent the enemies from capturing the outpost, and there will be like a circle or something that tells you if the enemies are capturing the outpost or not, and you'll fail the event, or you'll complete it by, you know, killing the enemies. So that's kind of like a rough sketch idea of how the system will work, and there will probably be like 5 or 8 waves of people. So like, let's say a person who came late can still join the event at like, you know, wave 8 or wave 7 and things like that, and still be able to get the reward. So all of the rewards should be, you know, character specific. So like, let's say you're participating in an event, and then the person who kills it, but you didn't kill it, but you were participating it, you know, you still get the reward, and it's not going to be like a first hit kill will get the reward. So like, everyone will get shared, just like in Guild Wars 2 for the rewards. So one system for the rewards is like, let's say a person doesn't have time to do every single boss every single day, right? Why don't you can implement a way that maybe doing only one boss will grant you like this special reward, and then as you do other bosses, you start to get diminishing returns on those things, but then you still get some, but it's going to be reduced. So the people who do not have hours to spend on the game, at least they're not missing out on too much, while those who really want to play the game for more hours, at least they're still doing something to progress. And not only that, you can have a weekly boss checklist. Like, let's say you do 5 different bosses for the whole week, and you get a particular amount of reward. And then obviously we need a system where we can party people and get people to a certain instance. So like in Guild Wars 2, if you party with someone like a commander or something like that, you could right click on their name and then join their instance. So we need a tool for that, where, you know, if we have like 5 players that are friends, and then we go into the multiplayer system, and then all of a sudden, you know, one of my friend is in a different instance, all he has to do is just right click my name and then join my instance. And then we also have to have a cap, obviously, because if there's no cap for a particular map, it's going to get too laggy and things like that. So people and the devs can worry about that. I'm just throwing out the idea of how you could implement a system where you can get people into your map Okay, if you made it this far, hopefully I earned your subscription and a like on the video. So please do that right now as we move over to our next discussion. All right, so now let's get into the party content. Now this is where it gets interesting because right now we are time gated to once a week for doing a Heroes Realm for just one boss. While most MMOs out there have like 8 raids for 1 week, but we are limited to just one. So what I was thinking is that maybe we can expand just the one raid to like 8 raids. And like our previous challenges, like a lot of these raids that we have here have like nice mechanics, and I think we're missing out if we don't like repeat some of them, right? Like instead of like only one, maybe grab like 4 more from down here and make them level 96 so that we can have more raids we can do per week. And aside from doing that, I think one of the most crucial thing is the system with grouping up, because if you're just gonna do matchmaking, it's gonna be pretty bad because you don't know who you're gonna get. Life is a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get. So instead, you want to try to create like a Guild Wars 2 system where they have like a description where you create a party and say like you're looking for a particular style of person, right? Like you have to have this title, or you have to have at least these somewhat kill proof for these bosses so that you are playing with experienced players. Or if you are not experienced and you want to learn how to do the certain raids, you can, create your own party and then have other people who are also interested in doing the same thing. So all of you guys are learning together, while the people who are experienced are finding only experienced players. And if they're not experienced, you kick them, and then you try to find someone that is experienced. So you kind of set up something like a looking for group system like this, so that you kind of get a party that you want and you can clear it faster, instead of just doing this matchmaking where you will just get random and you pretty much waste your time if you wipe because someone's not experienced. And having a looking for group system like this allows you to, separate the new people and the experienced players to those, play style. Now that goes for Heroes Realm for the raids, and I think the Sword Trial, I think what we need to do is just get rid of the energy system for Sword Trial, but also make it like maybe a daily Sword Trial thing. Like kind of imagine a Sword Trial like dungeons in MMOs. So you have a 5-player party content, and maybe you have like a daily upgraded chest for a particular dungeon, maybe 3 dungeons out of everything we have here. So yeah, out of like 9, I think we have 9 down here, and then one of so we have like 10 dungeons here. Maybe 3 out of the 10 is like bonus chests, and not only that, you could keep the levels like these. But what makes it what would make it more interesting, like how Guild Wars 2 have managed their level stuff, is downscaling your level to the level that the bosses are here. Although you'll still have all your inner rays unlocked, so you'll still be out leveled it, but you're not going to be overpowering it. So you are still playing with people who are joining the level 16, like this Formless Calamity, and you are also now downscaled to level 16, so you and that person who is actually level 16 are still able to, fight this boss. Now, we're getting to rewards. As for the rewards, you're gonna get like a special box, right? We're not gonna have like level tier boxes. We're gonna have a box that just says tier whatever, like a box, right? And once you open that box will basically change, like give you gear that is specific to what your actual level is. So that means that you going to lower levels and playing that, you will still get these boxes, and then when you open it, you'll get your level 96 gears from those boxes. So that way, it incentivizes players to also play low level dungeons as well. And yeah, so again, when I was talking about earlier, you get like maybe 3 bonus daily dungeons, choosing from whichever these previous challenge, and then the rest of the other dungeons you could do for fun and get a downgraded reward, so you don't like outpace everyone. But yeah, but if you want to keep on playing, you could, but for less rewards. But for the first 3 dungeons, it's like upgraded rewards, and you'll get these boxes that correlates to your level. So the level 16, if they open up the boxes, they'll get level 16 gear, And if you open up the boxes, you'll get your 96 level gear. That's what I'm trying to say here. So so just to sum it all together, like your Hero's Realm is like your weekly raid, and then your Sword Trial is like your daily dungeons kind of thing. If you ever played any other games that are live service, all in all, like the rewards and everything like that, and the mechanics are like the developers can kind of do what they do with those. So like I'm just throwing out those mechanics that I mentioned earlier. I mean, it doesn't have to be word for word. Obviously, like you can go more in depth. Everything that I mentioned in today's video can definitely be more in depth and also like have more nuance with the economy and things like that. What I just did was just threw out some ideas, and let's see if it sticks or not. But I think these are some of the ways that can actually improve the end game loop that we've been missing in the game. And like I think it's a good time to make this video because sooner or later we're gonna have content dry up. So you know how China, they take months in order for them to release a new map, and for us we only take like maybe 1 month to release a new map. Eventually when we catch up to China, we're gonna take like 3-4 months before a new map comes. And then those 3 to 4 months, I don't know about you, but like a lot for me, when there's a big content drought and when I leave a game, like completely leave it and not even touch it for even a day or two, I never come back. And I think a lot of players are similar to that. So if you just give an endgame loop that allow people to keep on coming back until the next content drops, that will prevent people from, you know, leaving and never coming back, especially people like me. And all in all, remember, like the more people you have playing the game, the more the more chances you have for whales to spend money. And again, like even if you have a population that is, if you increase the population of the game by a lot, and like maybe a lot of them don't even, you know, spend money, at least it'll give the whales more incentives to spend their money because more people are playing the game, because then the whales can show off to more people. So it's a win-win situation when you try to expand the game to more players instead of just catering to the whales. Because now if the population decreased so much and the whales are still spending their, you know, things, but if there's no population in the game, then the whales are there, is like, who are they showing off to at that point? Like there's no one in the game anymore. So eventually those whales will leave the game too, and then this game will die. So it's better to have an overpopulation that is not spending too much money than no population where, you know, you get no money at all. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know what you guys think. Again, this is just the tip of the iceberg that I just, you know, just talked about the endgame loop. There are a lot of nuances that can go along with this video, but I think if I discuss every single nitpick of everything, it's gonna get too long. If you got any comments, if you have any good ideas too, you can put them down in the comments below. Maybe someone out there, the devs, might read it and they might take that into consideration. All right, please like the video if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in the next one.